Hey, I'm Dr. Luke. Let's walk through a shoulder CARS, a controlled articular rotation. And I know that's a big word, but these are really simple and powerful exercises to help improve joint health by actively moving your joints through their full range of motion. So it's really helpful for range of motion maintenance, for articular health, and for longevity. They also stimulate mechanoreceptors, and mechanoreceptors kind of measure where your joints are in space and help you coordinate movement and stabilize. So this is going to help retrain your nervous system to maintain healthy movement patterns. It's also going to give you a little bit more spatial awareness, so hopefully you're not so clumsy. It also gives a demonstration of your articular workspace, which kind of means where your restrictions are, where your weaknesses are, so that we can focus on those restrictions and help your joints move in a healthy way again. Okay, first of all, we need to get really specific with the working joint, and that means that we have to irradiate, meaning we're contracting the muscles of the entire body. Think of it like clenching your fists, your arms, your shoulders, your core, your legs, your glutes, your ankles are all contracting at the same time. And that's what we call irradiation. And sometimes I'll get you to breathe in and irradiate to 20% or 30%. Sometimes we'll be irradiating at about 80% or 100%. And depending on the amount of radiation will depend on the intensity of exercise and what we get out of that exercise as well. So irradiation also is very, very important because it creates a foundation and a base for our working joint to rotate around. And so if we don't have that good irradiation, we're going to compensate where we have restrictions in other parts of the body, and we don't want to do that. We want to be very specific with the working joint. So it's really important that you understand this irradiation and that you are irradiating while you're doing your CARS, because that's going to help you do this exercise really well and effectively. Let's go through the shoulder CARS, and we have M to help me out here, which is fantastic. First of all, I want to go through what external rotation of the shoulder looks like and what internal rotation of the shoulder looks like. So everyone just hold out your arms like this. This is external rotation. And then when we bring the arm into this position, that's internal rotation. So external rotation and internal rotation. So we're going to use those movements as we do a rotation through the shoulder. So the most important thing with CARS is we want to irradiate. So let's do that. So we want to breathe in and irradiate. Excellent, 30%. And now we want to start going into that external rotation, start going into abduction. Good, nice and straight elbow. We're going to come across the body here. And as we come up to the ear, we're going to come to a roadblock. And so that's when we want to do internal rotation. So we fight for internal rotation here. And then we're going to come and extend back all the way down, really slow and controlled here. And we're going to end up by our side with our palm facing outwards there. Okay, we're going to come back, extending back. Now we're going to come to another roadblock. And now we're going to fight for external rotation. So externally rotating, coming up, nice and slow and controlled. We're only moving that working joint. We don't want to be moving other areas of the body. Arms nice and straight. We come across the body and we're going to end in that external rotation. Now, very good. So now we're going to face this way so you can have a different view of this. So external rotation, okay, and moving forward, coming across the body, breathe in and irradiate. Very good, coming up. We're going to come to that roadblock again. We're going to internally rotate now. Internally rotate, fight for that internal rotation. As we come and extend back, we're exploring that best possible space and range of motion that we've got. And then we're going to end here. Coming back now. Now we're going to come to that roadblock again. So we're going to go to external rotation. Excellent. Coming up as far as we can, keeping that elbow nice and straight, and then coming across the body. Excellent. And we're going to end up in that external rotation position by our side. Okay, so there's a few things that I want you to be aware of when you're doing the cars. We don't want you to be bending your elbow. So as you come up and you feel a bit of restriction, don't bend your elbow there. Don't shrug your shoulder up. Also, when we come to this ear, we don't want to be extending our spine back at all, okay? As we come down here, sometimes we have the tendencies to rotate the body as well. Good. And the other common one is as we're extending back, we start to bring the shoulder forward like this when we're coming into this motion here. So good, keeping that arm nice and straight. And we only want to be moving this working joint here. Thanks, Em. So that's how we do shoulder cars. So many of you, I've recommended cars because you don't have a very good functioning joint. And so you may have micro tear, minor injuries there, bursitis. You may have a really tight joint capsule, and you have things that haven't been moving well for a very long period of time. So it's really important that you move in the pain-free range. So that means that your cars is not going to look like my cars or Emma's cars. It's not going to be in the ideal range of motion yet. So when you're working that, as you come up maybe into external rotation, you may not be able to get into abduction or full external rotation because it may cause pain. So what we want to do is we want to work within your space. So up here, if that's painful, then we come across into here and we work our way through, and we're feeling for that pain-free range of motion. So it's really important that you're the coach, that you listen to what your body's saying and you work within that pain-free motion.